What? We got Joel Tolla,
Let's
virtual
go.
solar sales trainer extraordinaire in the house. You guys do not want to miss this conversation. Be back in 30 seconds. Let's go. We are live. What's up, solar community? Joe Moose in the house, and we got a special episode of Meet My Guest. I want to make sure you guys all know a friend of mine, Mr. Joel Tolla, VSC trainer, virtual solar sales extraordinaire in the house. What's up, Joel?
Hey everybody, what's up, Joe? Nice to finally be here. It's great. I've been watching a lot of your stuff, so finally on it. It's great.
Bro, I know you have a baby face and you look young, but you've been killing
Yeah,
it in the virtual solar sales game, man. And I want to talk about your story and what you're doing, and also do a big announcement for everybody in the Facebook community and the social media community, actually.
yeah,
But before that, let's make sure everybody knows who you are, bro.
yeah,
I know you have an amazing story, but let's just know people from the beginning. Where'd you start,
yeah,
and like how did you get into like sales in the beginning, anyway, man?
yeah. Yeah. That's a great start. I mean, it was a long journey for sure. There's definitely a lot of background, but with sales, it all started in terms of solar industry. It's probably my first thing into sales, but I started into uh, lead gen stuff. If a lot of you probably, if you were here back in a couple years ago in the industry, probably got a lot of DMs from me trying to get you, on one of my lead programs. But yeah, that's where I started, and it kind of got into the solar industry from there. And it wasn't really working out too well, I'd say, for a lot of reasons, mainly because I was pretty brand new. But
When was this? What year was this?
20, I want to say 2021. So not that long ago, like it was that 3 years ago. So
Yeah, okay. And
that's
that's when
that's
you
where I started.
started your so that's how you got into solar? How did you actually get into the solar industry itself?
So yeah, so that's essentially it. I was doing a lot of things before that. Just broke college kid trying to make some money, try to start online business, as you'd say. So did a lot of stuff before that. Amazon, Shopify stuff, affiliate marketing. But tried a lot of things. I'd say if I stuck to those, I probably would have done something. But I just kept switching back and forth,
Yeah.
and then finally landed on this model called like build an agency, do lead gen for companies, and I was like, okay, that sounds cool. I could do that. And then I started thinking, okay, what's a good industry right now? What's cool? I don't really even know that solar. There's like a lot of money in it. I just thought solar, that's cool. That sounds like the future. So I'll see what it is. But hopped into it and saw how crazy it is here. So been here ever since. But that's how it started. Yeah.
And then you started in lead gen. So that is a
Yes.
hustle on its own. That's not the sales part of the game at all, right?
Yeah.
What did you do in the lead gen space, and how successful did you get?
Yeah, lead gen space is definitely interesting. I would say I wasn't really that successful for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the guys right now that are killing it in the lead gen space, they've got it down to a T. They know what they're doing. But for me, and what I think, like a lot of people right now in that space, they're just super new to it. They hear that there's a lot of money in solar, so they just go and try to make some money, but at the end of the day, like that's all they're there for. They're not really there to like they don't really know a lot about the industry. They don't know too much about it. I think that's kind of the reason why I didn't really do too well, because I was just there for the money. I don't really want to help people or impact people. And I think that's why a lot of people right now in the lead gen industry, like you get all those DMs, right? Like they don't care about you. They just want to make some money. But the people that are really killing it, those big guys, they've been in the industry. They played the long game, and they understand everything. So I think that's kind of the difference there for sure.
Yeah, you speaking of lead gen, you also was a door knocker.
Yeah.
So was lead gen and then door knocking? What
Yeah,
happened
so
there?
when lead gen wasn't really doing it for me, I decided, okay, well, I'm in the industry. There's a lot of money in there, so why don't I just get in and get on the doors and start doing stuff. So yeah, I started hopping on the doors. It was grueling to say the least. I actually did pretty well, like off the bat, like beginner's luck, I guess. But I was setting appointments for this closer. Wasn't really getting much traction with that. It was actually it was interesting because I would set the appointments on the doors and he would close it virtually, which was interesting. But yeah, that really didn't take off as much as I thought it would. But yeah, and then I had to kind of move on from there. But yeah, that's the doors for me.
But that tells you something about the solar industry. A lot of people can join that are brand new that
Yeah,
don't know anything about solar at all,
yeah,
even maybe in sales, and start
yeah,
making just as much money as the best closers in the company on day
yeah,
one. Right.
yeah.
And that's what you saw. You saw like opportunity and you want to take advantage of that. And now you're looking for that right opportunity. So you looked at lead gen, door knocking. Then what was that kind of next avenue for you?
Yeah, so I was getting my teeth kicked in the doors. It was, I mean, I was getting appointments, wasn't really getting close too much. And then I don't know, it's like every house that I go to, there's like a dog that's chasing me halfway across the block. So, after a full day of that, and then you go home, you open Facebook or YouTube, and you see, it was, Josh King, right? Virtual Solar Club. I was seeing a lot of his content, like, oh, why are you knocking on the doors? Come do it virtually. Do the virtual door knocking, and basically do the same thing but from your home or online. And I kind of got hooked into that, right? So I totally just jumped in for sure on that. So that's the next step.
So you went into, now making appointments online. What does that look like? Going from door knocking to going online. That's one of the hardest transitions you can
Yeah,
make because I did it myself. And I tell you, like going from
yeah,
in home to virtual is a whole different game. And if people don't
yeah,
know it, they can easily fall prey to $0 in checks because they
yeah.
did the wrong system and they wasted all their time for results that are a percentage of what they could have got. But how did you start off virtually,
Yeah.
getting those leads?
Yeah, starting off is definitely interesting to say the least. So, uh, a lot of people that come in, and so I mean, I did this as well, right? A lot of people come in virtual solar sales. They're like, "Oh, I'll just get a whole bunch of leads and close, 25, 30 deals my first month as a brand new guy." And like, that's how I came into it. Definitely didn't happen. Definitely didn't get started off like that. But I think it's more of like after a while, I kind of decided, okay, like I need to make this work. I think I don't know how I was getting started, but I think I was door dashing just to make some extra cash, and also I was like, I had to like take out a loan to buy my first like batch of leads, and like that's when like I decided, like before I did that, I decided like, okay, I need to make this work. I think I saw like a sales announcement on the hub, like someone just closed like if that 13 kilowatt or 14 kilowatt, like fully virtually. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna commit, I'm gonna go all in. I don't care. I was like in my car. I remember the day I was in my car, I was door dashing. And then I was like in one of the live trades, someone came and said, I closed like a 15 kilowatt online. I was like, okay, I'm done. Took out a loan, bought leads. This gets like went all in. Just decided,
Yeah.
okay, I don't care. I'm doing this full in. I think that's like when it first started. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. But it's not exactly like you get in and you start doing crazy. I think a lot of
No.
people have those super big expectations, especially like when you hear all these numbers. You don't see the work that came in behind those, right? Like when someone says they close like 10, 15, 20 deals online in a month, it's like that wasn't their first month, right? Like months, years of just work, maybe in a different industry, or maybe like all that stuff that built up that led to that. So I think for me, it's like looking at it long term and saying, okay, I'm not going to keep switching from thing to thing anymore. I'm just going to stick here and do things and have a higher time frame on what I'm going to do, and then I'll have a higher chance of achieving it. So
So you started off, getting the virtual leads and making appointments because you don't have to start closing right away. And people think that they get into solar, the only way to make money is to close deals, which is actually
yeah,
not true at all. It's
yeah,
actually the opposite. You can make more money generating
setting,
leads
yeah,
and setting appointments than even closing. What
yeah.
was your kind of journey with that, making appointments to how long it actually takes to close?
That's like a big mistake that I made. I feel like I would have gotten, gone there faster a lot earlier if I actually did do that. But when I got in, I was super egotistical. I thought, okay, I'll set and close and do everything. So it was grueling, right? So we would it was me and it was a couple of other guys. We had a Discord channel, like we were VSC members back then, and we would just go in. It was cold, super cold leads, just homeowner data. We would go, we'd hit that, set appointments throughout the day, and then at night take the closing calls, right? And it took a lot longer than needed to because we were basically doing two things. Because in virtual, like the setting appointments and closing is like two different things. Like it's not supposed to be done at once, but because we were doing it, you know, like together, it took much longer than it needed to. Whereas if I went back and I just focused on appointment setting and just got that down, I would have got that down faster and I could have moved on to closing and just got that down. But because I was doing it simultaneously, it was taking up a lot of my time and a lot of my energy. And it just, it made things take a lot longer than they should have. But yeah, they're definitely right. Like appointment setting, there's a lot of money in that. You can go ahead, find someone that's competent that can close your deals for you, and get them appointments, do a split, and make money a lot faster than having to do it yourself for sure.
Yeah, and it's also the system, right?
Yeah,
Like you can have the greatest leads. Honestly, you can have good leads coming in,
yeah,
and be a good person, a good rep, a good salesperson. You get
yeah,
everything and have a terrible system and
yeah,
lose a lot of money, right? And I know
yeah.
that you joined Josh King's system, the Virtual Solar Club, around that time. What did that look like for you? And then, like that going into the VSC community.
Yeah, VC community, it was honestly amazing. Like I think for me, like I don't like putting a lot of pressure on the community or on the program in terms of getting me results. I think like for me, like okay, I have all this energy, I have all this drive that I want to put towards something. I want to get something out of it, and it's all up to me. That community and the program, it's just a structure and a path that I can put all this energy towards. Right. I think a lot of mistakes that people make, and that I the program and say, okay, I'm gonna make money now. And it's like no, I got to do stuff too. Like I got to put in work. I got to go in there and I gotta show up every day. I gotta listen to the call reviews. I gotta listen to the training programs and actually put an effort. Right. So I put a lot of the responsibility on myself, and BSC was just great in terms of being that structure, that path that I could just put all that energy in, and lead me towards that goal. So yeah, it was amazing, amazing structure, amazing people, amazing community, amazing network. Josh King, he was pretty much in every single training session, giving absolute nuggets, doing call reviews, and just that just helped a lot.
There's so many mistakes people make when they
Yeah,
try to sell virtually. And that's
yeah,
why I say the system is so important because there's
yeah,
little like brick walls and things can fall through and you can kind of lose deals. But if you
yeah,
have the right system and you know it from A to Z, then
yeah,
it's not you're reinventing the wheel.
yeah,
You're taking something that you know works and then you're
yeah,
applying it yourself and you're now
exactly.
using your skills and your sales ability and your creativity, whatever else on top of that. But having a
Yeah,
system is key. Can you talk about how the virtual solar club the system like for me one of the things I learned is when you're trying to make appointments when you're transitioning, people think like, oh, let's get this person on a Zoom. They think
Mm,
like, all right, we have an appointment. Okay, Mary, let's get on Zoom at tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And they're like, oh yeah,
yeah,
sounds good. The next day, Mary is like, ghost, no show. And we're like, going there, go, why is
yeah,
she not showing up? And there's so many
yeah,
reasons psychologically and keeping things simple. But can you
yeah,
talk about how like the virtual solo cup system is tries to simplify things so that you don't need to be some sales expert or some
yeah.
super knowledgeable person to join?
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different tactics and appointment setting tactics that are in there, and all of them change from day to day. But there's key ideas that stand the test of time, and that's like if you want someone to show up, you want them to value it, right? If you want someone to come and really give you their attention is what you want them to do when they're sitting. You need to make sure that they believe that there's something in it for them. So on that appointment setting call, like you can say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you got to make sure that they feel it. They feel like, okay, there's a real problem here. Like a lot of Josh's stuff is just problem focused, making sure that they understand what the problem is. Like their bills are getting way too expensive. Their utility companies adding all these fees. Like I right now, like if I don't have like a 3, 4, 5 minute conversation on just fees and on just extra fees and extra charges on top of their power, like I don't move on to the next thing. So it's a lot of just, hey, let's just talk about what's wrong here and making sure that they feel it in their bone. And that all the like the better that you are at building that up, the better you are at making sure that they feel that, then the more likely they are to show up to the next call. And like you said, like Zoom phone calls, it doesn't really matter. As long as their problem's there, they'll figure it out, right? And phone calls is just a lot easier too. So, and you'll get a lot of their attention more on a phone call than a Zoom.
But also, like when you try to sell virtually, there's so many tools you have to get. Yeah,
Yeah,
dialer and leads and
yeah,
CRMs and follow up and
yeah,
just all this stuff you have to keep up. Like one of the great things about the VSC community is that they have access to software that helps them
yeah,
have a turnkey operation. Literally,
yeah,
join and you have everything you need to start selling solar virtually
yeah,
on day one. Can you talk about
yeah.
that too, like the tools you've been able to utilize since you joined?
Yeah, like I said, like the structure, right? The structure's it's there. So as long as you have a drive and you have, energy that you want to put towards, like there's literally everything that you need from A to Z to get there. So like CRM, scheduling, design, like finance, like running, like everything is there for you to go from basically getting a homeowner lead and turning them into an install that gets you paid out, like A to Z. You There's everything there. So like I said, like that stuff's really important. If you want to be successful in virtual solar sales, and it's there in BSC.
But like, virtual solar cells is one of the big benefits is that you get to work from anywhere you choose.
Yeah,
You be it at home, be it in the
yeah,
Dominican Republic or
yeah,
Dubai, like places you've been
yeah.
selling solar. Like, are you selling solar virtually because you need to and have to, or you just it's a choice for you and you love being able to travel the world and work from home, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at first I wasn't really like that big on traveling and wanting to work. Like I'll do anything like as long as I get paid. But it's definitely a big key, a big positive in terms of virtual solar sales. Like I've been able to sell from anywhere, right? Like you said, Dubai, it's a different time zone, so gonna have to take calls at night, which was interesting, but it was cool. Like you had the Dubai night, you'd see all the buildings and all the lights as you're making sales calls, which was fun. But yeah, for me it was just like whatever I can do to maximize my my deals and the my success, like I was going to do that. And virtual at that point, like for me, I was like, okay, this is going to be the thing that I'm going to be able to stay consistent on. I can contact a lot of people and without having to drive everywhere. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to be able to be successful with solar and is doing it virtually. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of crazy stories. For me, there was like when I first realized that virtual was like real was we used to go to these libraries like back then when I was doing the cold calls, like we used to do it in these libraries because home would just be too distracting. And the libraries they usually close at 8, right? And usually I would usually prepare like if I had an appointment at like that's gonna go towards like 7 o'clock or something. I'll usually I'll just leave the library, go home, do the appointment there. But I was doing a whole day of cold calling. Usually get there at 9 a.m. and call throughout the day. And this appointment it was booked in for 6 o'clock. Uh, and I was like, okay, I'll just do the call in the library in the one of the meeting rooms there, and then it was booked in for 6, and then for some reason I think the wife was home, but the husband was at work, and you never want to run it, as a one-legger, right? So I was like, okay, let's just wait till the husband gets back home. We wait, we wait, we wait. It's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, right? And then the husband's still not back, and then I thought it was gonna be at 6 o'clock, so I'm still at the library. I'm just leaving. Husband comes back at 8 o'clock. The library just closed. I got to run this appointment somehow. So I think it was. I don't think I've closed a deal yet this far. I think might have closed one. But I literally took my laptop, put it in my car, got my phone, put on the hotspot, connected to my laptop. There was a McDonald's like right across the street from the library. Went over to the parking lot of the McDonald's, and got set up in my car, did the whole the call, the closing call, ran credit, got approved. No, I didn't get approved. I think I had to run credit like 6 times or something because a lot of different. I had to try like 4 different. I tried 4 different finance companies, but finally got approved. It was like an hour long. It was like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. at McDonald's. I'm like the only one in the parking lot, and I got one of my first deals like there, and I was like
Yeah,
virtual, like this is crazy, right? Like
this is
I'm closing the
real.
deal.
That was
Yeah,
your
this is
aha
actually
moment
real.
right there.
That was like that moment. I was like, dude, it was like I think it was like 8 grand in commissions. Like it was a lot for me, right? And it was great. And I actually told Josh about it. We had like a meeting. Like I told Josh King about it. He was like, I don't know if that's cool. I was like, hey, you should. I recorded a video of it. And he
All
said, hey, you
right,
should put this in one of the VSC stuff.
I
This
gotta
is
check it
cool about
out.
virtual. He was like, I don't know, like, is that do people really want to do that? I'm like, yeah, that's amazing, But yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, so
Oh, that's
virtual
awesome.
works. Yeah,
I know. So there's this big announcement we're about to announce to everybody in the solar community.
yeah,
Joel Tolla is going to be giving free value to the solar community on a consistent basis. And we were talking earlier, and both of us have passions for helping newer people. Maybe newer to solar, newer to sales, and be able to be confident that they have the skill set to be able to make money in this solar industry on day one.
yeah.
And Joel is volunteering to give his time, energy, and do these trainings for the solar community absolutely for free. But I wanted to, Joel, can you kind of talk about that and talk about? I know you have this
Um,
0 to 1 program, but you can talk about afterwards. But kind of
okay.
talk about the free value offering the community.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, like I said, it all comes in together, right? Like, just trying to get people who are new to solar, new to the industry, or just new to virtual, right? Like, if you're knocking on doors, I've heard a lot of people like coming to me and say, hey, like I'm knocking doors, but I can't do that full year round, especially if you're in an area where the weather just changes, right? And you can't really knock at, the whole year. Like if you want to get into the virtual solar sales industry, and you haven't really dived in yet, it's like that's kind of what this training is for, is people to get them from 0 to 1, right? But yeah, we're gonna go over appointment setting. I think that's gonna be the first training is what's going to be about, and just all the different stuff in there, because in virtual, like it's the appointment setting call is a lot more important than the closing call. So the appointment has to be set right, and that's what that training is going to be about, and getting people ready for that call.
So if you're out there and you are not confident in your virtual solar sales ability or your solar sales ability, this is the time you can actually follow someone who's going to start taking you from 0 to 1. I love those numbers you did. You showed 0 to 1, like literally
Yeah.
from no deals, not understanding anything. Not go ahead.
And Joe, like that whole concept is like, we know when people when they're new to the industry or they're new to something, like they have these really big expectations. Like they want to get 20 deals, 30 deals, 40 deals. And for me, it's like you shouldn't really be looking that far, right? If you're completely brand new, like the first thing you should be looking at is getting your first deal, like, or your first appointment, your first sit, your first deal. Like the 0 to 1 is like the longest journey is going from 0 to 1. And that's something that I've realized. And after that, it just gets easier and easier and easier. So I think all the focus should go like really towards getting that first, either first appointment, first sit, first deal, first install. Like what's really important. That's what this whole program is about. Is getting people who are at zero, don't like super brand new, don't really know too much about the virtual solar sales industry, and how to do it, and get them to that first, and then after that, then it's going to keep compounding, and they're going to be good after that. But yeah, getting that first one, that's just what's that all about.
No, I love that. And that
Yeah,
is sometimes the hardest thing. Not for
yeah,
everybody. Some people start on fire and they're just like boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, and then they die
yeah,
later, and then they need the training again because what they started with is
yeah,
not working anymore, right? But
yeah,
many people struggle on getting their first deal, and many people quit the
yeah,
solar
before.
industry because they didn't get their first deal in time.
Yeah,
And once you quit something, once you're in your mindset that you're not doing that anymore, it's really hard to get
it's
back into it.
really relevant. Yeah,
It's really
100%.
rough, right? So having that first deal happen is probably
Yeah,
the most important thing to have people stick in the solar
stick.
industry,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And it's not
100%.
only about the deal, but it's actually and the money. It's psychological. Like
Yeah.
who's going to keep working for free? Who's
Hmm.
going to keep putting their time and energy and not and making anything in return? So
Yeah,
what you're offering with the 0 to 1 is way more. It's not just offering training and helping them get their first appointment. You're also offering to help close their deals too. That's something that's unheard of. Can you talk about
yeah.
that?
Yeah, so with VSC, what we've been talking about, Virtual Solar Club with Josh King, we're partnering up. It's the program that I used when I first started to get my first deal, right? And we partner up together, and it's just going to be able to, like, for people that hop into VSC from now, for I think for the next month or so, um, uh, they're going to be able to get access to the dialer that I use, leads that I used, and also most importantly, like, have me hold their hand, guiding them towards that first deal. And like you just said, if they are just want to just set appointments, have them just set the appointments, and I would basically help them close the deal for them, and just basically, let them keep all the commission, just so that they can feel that first deal
Okay,
for the
well, you
for the
just
full
like
effect.
you mumbled over that. Keep what? What'd you say? Keep
Yeah, I
all what?
mean, keep the commission, like keep 100% of the commission. I think it's important for people, especially when they're getting the first deal, that they can feel the full effect of a solar commission, like I did. So, yeah, I mean,
That's insane. I've never heard anybody who's an experienced closer offer this. And this is pure value.
yeah,
This is you going to Josh. Hey, I want to help. I want to be a bigger part of the community. I want to give value. And you're
yeah,
just offering this to get that first deal for people so that they have that feeling of a win. They got
yeah.
that first check.
When you get
Um,
that win, then it's really easy to keep going, right? So, I think for this, it's like, as long as you feel like I just won, I just, I can do it. You have that confidence in yourself, and you can keep going, right? So, it's just giving people that confidence, and that win that they've had in the background, so they can always look back to. So when they have those days where they're like, okay, I need to quit, they're like, no, I got that deal back then, right? I got that commission that's coming in about a week or two when I get installed. That's going to keep me going. So it's usually like that's really what gets people going. It's like having that confidence, and that win. So, yeah, it's really important.
I want to make sure we're very clear to the audience. So we're talking about two different things. One thing we're talking about is Joel is offering his time, free time and value, and offering trainings to the solar community. So you're going to see his face on this page a lot more in the near future. He's going to be doing trainings on newer beginners learning how to sell solar virtually, right? That's going to be in the community, but also he's going to have the 0 to 1. If anybody who's in the virtual solar club community is going to be able to actually get that, and that's going to be huge. So can you talk about that? How can people join the virtual solar club, and should they mention your name, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So when you're joining Virtual Solar Club, I think Josh has this going on for the next month or so. You can use on the promotional code tab. You can use my name, Joel Tolla. It's JoelTolla. Should be down there. You Once you put in that code, you get access to the 0 to 1 program, and also then you get what is it, 10% off the VSC. So yeah, use that code when you join. You'll get access to the 0 to 1 program for a month. And that, like you said, Joe, gets you access to me, all the dollars that I used, all the systems that I used, all the CRMs that I used, and also, like I said, me basically being your personal closer for free, which is
This is
crazy.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
So,
we'll see how
and
it
this
goes.
is
Maybe, yeah.
yeah, this is not something we've done before. This is brand new. We're just trying to give extra value. And Joel is the one trying to give value. This is going to be very time consuming,
Yeah.
but he has agreed to grind and help and get these 0 to 1 students. So this is
I just
amazing.
want to make sure that we get this, we get everything straight. Like, I'm not going to be doing this forever, right? This is only for the first deal. So we're not going to be doing that for every single deal. I'm not going to
Now
be
you're
doing
locked in.
promotion.
You're locked in now.
No,
Everybody's getting free deals for life.
no, no,
Yeah.
that's never happening. No, this is for 0 to 1 for that first deal. You're getting that commission, but yeah, every deal after that, we're obviously gonna do a split if you want to come to me and you want me, because that's how it goes right now, right? That's what I'm doing right now with everybody that I'm closing deals for. We have pretty a fair split. But yeah, for everybody in the 0 to 1 program, for that first deal that you get in that program, you keep all the commission. You get all that, and use that to keep going in the journey, and eventually, like I said, have that long-term view, and get somewhere at some point, and have a broader view on where you want to be with your sales career, or virtual solar sales career.
Robert Trenton Cole is laughing his ass off in the comments. He's like, "Hey, if I gave them $8,000, I won't see them for months." LOL. What do you talk about
Yeah.
that? Do you think people get their first deal and they make a big commission that they won't work, or do you think that this is going to motivate them to be like, "Oh, this is real. I can do this more. I should grind." Good
Yeah,
question,
obviously
Robert.
there's different people, right? There's a lot of different people out there. Different people have different goals, right? So if your goal is to make 8K in a year, then definitely take it and go. But I mean, that's not my goal, right? I don't think that's a lot of people's goals either. I don't think that you can sustain that, doing that. But yeah, if you have a more long term goal and saying, hey, like, I want to be in the industry for a very long time. I want to keep uh I want to keep making sales. I want to keep doing things virtually, and keep that consistency. Then you're probably going to want to stick around. And if you know that something works, then why leave it, right? So, yeah, there's definitely different people out there. People just want to make some quick cash and dip, and that's up to them, right? That's their prerogative. But yeah, I don't think everybody's like that. Maybe they are, you know.
Yeah, man, 100%. Some people are gonna
Yeah,
take the money and run, but you don't want that person anywhere. They're gonna they're gonna be done. Nah, I don't
yeah,
know. The mindset I am is that makes me excited now. That makes me see this is real, and then I start doing the math in my head. If I did this one time, and I could do this 4 times a month or 5 times a month, and then I could do that for a year, I'm thinking now I can make $300,000-400,000 a year, as opposed
yeah.
to I made $8,000. Time for a vacation.
Time for a
So
vacation, yeah. And like, I mean, we all get stuck into it, right? I mean, everybody has those moments where, like, you get that first big commission with solar, and you, like, you start thinking of all the possibilities. But yeah, you got to stay grounded, right? You got to think more long term, and know this is this is a long game for sure.
This is for people who want to make more than $10,000 and stop working. Okay. Obviously, if everybody wants to work with you, they can join the Virtual Solar Club community, virtualsolarclub.com. Use Joel Tolla for your 10% discount and join him in the 0 to 1 beta that he's trying to offer the community, which is amazing. But I see your name for your tag is Instagram. It says Joel _Tolla.
Yeah,
and I want to make sure I say your name right. And
so
how can people follow you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm African. I'm East African. I'm Ethiopian. So my name is Joel, but I've had people my whole life just really hard to pronounce that, so I just go by Joel. But yeah, that's my Instagram. If you guys want to go ahead,
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna change your Instagram because how is anybody gonna remember how to spell your first name? EYUEL _2. So _ Tolla, TOLLA. But I think by the time we might be changing it to Joel Tolla, but we'll see. I do like your name though, so I want to make sure I say that. It's a cool name.
No, I made it a long time ago, and I don't think they won't let me change it now for some reason. But I've tried. I've definitely tried. But yeah, it just says like if you're gonna come in to the Instagram and follow me, means that you really put some effort in there. So I'm gonna be a lot more responsive in the Instagram because you definitely have a big memory. But yeah, so EYUEL _Tolla. It's right there. You could probably just take a screenshot of it and just remember it there. But yeah, message me, DM me. I try my best to respond to people on IG and if they need help, if they need if you have any questions, I try to make sure I'm responsive. But yeah, you can reach me there.
Last thing before I let you go, bro, and I appreciate you taking the time. This is Joel Tolla, VSC trainer, Virtual Solar Club certified trainer. Yes. Any last thoughts? I know we talked earlier and we were both really talking about how it's important to help newer people that don't understand, don't have a path, don't really know where to go. But can you just give your last thoughts before we let you go, man?
I mean, it's just, I think for me, like a big motto is like, a lot of things that when I first started, like this is a thing that I've been listening to is like a lot of things that are worth having don't come easy. So when you're joining this, don't think it's going to be a quick thing. I would say for me, like having a more long-term view is what changed everything for me, because before I used to think very short term, think, okay, do this in a month, I'll get here. In a couple of weeks, I'll get here. But once I started thinking more broader, having a larger time frame on what I wanted to accomplish, I think I can get a lot more done. So that's the big thing. I mean, and there's a lot of crazy stuff in the industry. So once you start getting into it, when you start building that momentum, you start getting that confidence, start closing deals, like anything could happen, right? Like 2 days ago, I don't do this every time. This is just like for circumstances. Like even just 2 days ago, I closed a 20 kilowatt at a Starbucks. Not on purpose, but I was going to the gym and then I got a call from a customer and I was like, okay, let me just take this call real quick. So I had to go into Starbucks. But like anything is possible in the virtual solar sales industry. Like don't think that nothing's impossible. Anything could happen. So yeah, just keep hope out there and get that confidence and have a large time frame and you can do anything for sure. So,
and if you're brand new to virtual solar sales, make sure you reach out to Joel Tolla either through Instagram or through joining the Virtual Solar Club. Mention Joel Tolla, you get a 10% discount on top of it. You guys do not want to miss out on this opportunity. Joel Tolla in the house. He's going to be coming back to the solar community. He's going to be dropping nuggets, tips. Today we're sharing his story, but now he's going to be dropping actual trainings for the community. So look out for my man, Joel Tolla.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, Joe. Nice being here. Nice. All right. Bye, guys.
Peace.